Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Mount St. Helens. No, wait, it's Helene. My mistake, sister. We're kicking this game off with a shuffler special. The opponent gets to go first, so we have 3 draws to find that critical third land. Let's give it a shot. Keep your pants on. We draw a talent, so we're still waiting on that third land. Keep your fingers crossed, boys. There's the third land we need. It's a forest, so we've got to hold what we got. They drop a third land, but that's all they've got. Thanks for not dropping any men. We can finally get one of our horns in play, and we'll use it to play out the talent. They play out a Maze Mind Tome and use it right away to scry. Why not draw? Opponents are going to opponent. We're going with the Sage to take out their maze. That artifact is an advantage we shouldn't let them keep. They play out a swamp, so they're actually in Orzhov. Then they follow up with a Beza, the control player's favorite cow. But men and life are not a concern. We can take down piles of men and any life total. We draw a frontier, and that might have to be our play this turn. We're not getting lands, and mana is the one thing this deck thrives on. Let's grab Doppel Mana. They play out an Elspeth. The endless stream of tokens might end up being a problem. On the bright side, if we can copy Elspeth, we will get double tokens when we fire off a Doppel. They pump the team and send in one of their sushi. Maybe it's me, but I think the cow does a bit more damage. Should have sent that instead. We draw another sweeper, and we will be able to knock down their men if we need to. For this turn, let's get the second Horn of Plenty down. That leaves us with 4 mana, which is the perfect amount to level up our talent and get the frontier back. Let's do it. We thought they were on tokens, but they play out an Ugin. That's bad news since we're not really built to dish out damages to Planeswalkers. Ugin snipes our talent on his way in. We might not be able to take them out, but we can still nuke the player. That's hilarious. They pump the team, but then send in a sushi. With these minimal damages, it's going to take them years to take down our life total. We draw a passage and we'll play it out to fetch a land. Now we'll go with the frontier again. More mana to fuel a future Doppel. We'll grab basics since we have a virtue in hand. They play out a Maze Mind Tome, and Ugin gets to snipe something, but they hit our Otter token. That's kind of weird. They go with more team pump, and this time around they send in Beza and their sushi. At the end of their turn, we'll bounce their untapped sushi. We want to clear the way for our sage. Let's send it. We want to take down Ugin's loyalty, since they've got enough to ultimate their Planeswalker. They hit our Sage with a removal. If they had that, why not swing in with everyone? Well, that green light's one of our sweepers. Let's kiss their men goodbye. They play out a white overlord and pay its full price. Thanks to Elspeth, they'll get double the tokens. It is a token party up in here. We draw an Ouroboros, but I can't imagine it would actually get anywhere. We'll take out their team, and unfortunately that's all we can do. They get down a fountain port and immediately use it to make a pair of sushi. We're a lot less concerned about 1/1 men than the bigger men they had earlier. We draw a land, which is not that great. A doppel would have been nice. We'll play out the tapeworm, but it's likely going to meet an ugly end. They burn out the Maze Mind Tome. Not that it matters, they have such a huge advantage. Maybe we can get them to draw themselves out. That's another pair of sushi. With their setup, we'll have to face an endless pile of token men. We need some real ammo, and we need it soon. Elspeth snipes our tapeworm, no surprise there. At least there won't be any team pump this turn. To everyone's surprise, they drop in another Beza. I suppose that's better than tossing it to hand size. We draw a procession, but the best thing to get back might be a sweeper to clear out the men they generate after they rebuild their board. They make more sushi, no surprise there. Elspeth will add a pair of men as well. At long last, we draw a stock up. That could be what lets us break out of this awful game. I don't know what the holdup is here, a control player losing control. That's a doppel right there, and we'll grab a land. The tapeworm won't be able to win us this game. When the game starts to not go your way, it's time to rope. We can doppel for 3 right now, but if we wait until our next turn, we can make that 4. They go for the team pump, and that will take us down to 10. They're close to taking us down on their next attack. Let's just be glad they didn't activate their manland. They make more sushi, but after they've attacked and pumped their men, oopsie poopsie bro, we'll fire off our procession. It's a risk, but we'll get our stock up. We haven't tried playing out our virtue since they could snipe it, but if we copy it, they won't be able to take out all the copies. We need it in play before we doppel. That's another stock up, and there's a second doppel as well. That's what we've been looking for. We'll take a talent and another sweeper. We'll play out the talent, and we still have enough mana for a 4-point doppel. We'll copy our talent, our virtue, a horn of plenty, and an island. With hundreds of mana from one land, let's level up a talent to get back a card from the grave. Our doppel is always a good choice. Sure, we have one in hand already, but with hundreds of mana, we have way more than we could possibly use. Let's crank out a big doppel. How about 15? That's a good number, right? Let's copy the talent, a virtue, and we'll copy up our deserts. With 3 of them, we'll hit them for 45 damages. That's right, we're ending the game with a gigantic turn. We'll also copy their Planeswalkers. We do have to copy 15 things, otherwise we'd stop right here. This is all we need. We'll just copy up some lands and maybe some cornucopias and a virtue. That's going to be GG's, extra token cheese. We'll have to wait for Arena to crunch the numbers, but the damages are sufficient to reduce their life total to a steamy pile. When it looks bad, rope them. That's okay, because we're about to shark them. All right, here comes the pain portion of today's program. We're gonna speed this one along. That's 45 desert triggers inbound. They hang in there until they finally realize their life total is about to get torn. These triggers were about to smack them in the lips. And that, my friends, wait, who is gonna change Ugin's diaper? Is another satisfied customer.